Hello everyone, and welcome to What's News, your fortnightly glimpse into the world of science. NASA have been very busy this last week or so. Firstly, they have announced 2 missions to the planet Venus, our nearest planetary neighbour. Part of NASA's Discovery programme, the missions aim to understand how Venus became an inferno-like world when it has so many other characteristics similar to ours, and may have been the first habitable world in the solar system, complete with an ocean and Earth-like climate. The Da Vinci mission will measure the composition of Venus's atmosphere to understand how it formed and evolved, as well as determine whether the planet ever had an ocean. Veritas will map Venus's surface to determine the planet's geologic history and understand why it developed so differently to Earth. More recently, we have been treated to a spectacular view of Ganymede, a moon of Jupiter, and the largest in our solar system. The Juno spacecraft flew within a few hundred miles of the moon, the closest flyby for over 20 years, but obviously with much more sophisticated equipment that was able to provide these amazing images. There will be much more to come from Juno, and we will watch this space for you. For reasons unknown, Earth's solid iron inner core is growing faster on one side than the other, and it has been ever since it started to freeze out from molten iron more than 500 million years ago, according to a new study by the seismologists at the University of California, Berkeley. The growth is faster under Indonesia than in Brazil on the opposite side of the Earth. This has implications for Earth's magnetic field and its history, because convection in the outer core, driven by the release of heat from the inner core, is what today drives the dynamo that generates the magnetic field that protects us from dangerous particles from the sun. It has long been known that the Earth's magnetic poles are constantly moving and periodically flip, so the north becomes the south and vice versa. The work by the University of California may provide insights into how this happens. We may have a new contender for coolest animal on the planet. Bdelloid rotifers are multicellular animals so small that you need a microscope to see them. Despite their size, they're known for being tough, capable of surviving through drying, freezing, starvation, and low oxygen. Now, researchers have found that not only can they withstand being frozen, but they can also persist for at least 24,000 years in the Siberian permafrost and survive. Our report is the hardest proof as of today that multicellular animals could withstand tens of thousands of years in cryptobiosis, the state of almost completely arrested metabolism, says Stas Malovin of the Soil Cryology Laboratory at the Institute of Physiochemical and Biological Problems in Soil Science in Pushino, Russia.
What a name. I think he put that just to make your life a misery.
I'm convinced he did. The takeaway is that a multicellular organism can be frozen and stored as such for thousands of years and then return back to life. A dream of many science fiction writers, Malovin says. Of course, for mammals, it is not currently possible. Yet, moving from a single-celled organism to an organism with a gut and brain, though microscopic, is a big step forwards.
I mean, I would argue the coolest animal on the face of the planet is actually a bulldog on a skateboard. I mean, it is. I mean, you've seen it. It's such a... Yeah.
Swag. We do like a good dinosaur story here at What's News, and the latest concerns young T-Rexes. Last year, paleontologist Joseph Peterson discovered some dinosaur bone fossils that had juvenile T-Rex teeth marks on them, and, with the help of Jack Seng, decided to calculate the likely force behind the bite. They determined that a juvenile could have exerted up to 5,600 newtons of force, somewhere between the jaw forces exerted by a hyena and a crocodile. They did this by creating a replica tooth and mounting it on a mechanical testing frame commonly used in engineering and materials science, then tried to crack a cow leg bone with it. An adult T-Rex can chomp down with a bone-crunching force of 35,000 newtons. For comparison, us humans max out at a puny 300 newtons. If, by chance, you do come across an abandoned baby T-Rex and decide to rear it yourself, we suggest you get a rather lengthy and extremely strong set of feeding tongs. Earlier this year, we reported on the impending emergence of Brood-X cicadas after 13 to 17 years underground. True to form, they have emerged in the last fortnight, and people in their thousands have been keen to participate in what is the oldest example of citizen science. Citizen science involves the input of everyday people, that's you and me by the way, into scientific research. This might involve doing things like taking some photos or counting the number of certain creatures in your garden. There have been many important discoveries made about cicadas recently, and none of these would have been possible without the help of the public and the Cicada Safari project. Recently, here at Xplore, we have started our own citizen science project. It's called Wild Watch, and you can join in the fun. Details are here. Do you ever wonder how slime molds always seem to find their way into your ears and up your nose?
No, I don't. It's a horrible thought. I don't like it.
We might now have the answer. Although slime moulds are extremely simple organisms, just a system of interlaced tubes, they can solve complex optimization problems, such as finding the shortest path through a maze. Like all slime moulds, Physarum polycephalum has no brain or nervous system, yet it somehow remembers food sites for future reference. How they can take in and retain information has long remained unclear. The study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA, revealed that when parts of P. polycephalum come into contact with a food source, they release a substance that softens the tube network's gel-like walls, making them widen from their inherent internal pressure. The slime mould moves by expanding along wider tubes and pruning narrower ones, so the enlarged tubes effectively record past food locations, as they influence the organism's overall direction of growth even after the food is gone. We'll see you in 2 weeks.